The RedRock 4x4 crawler stubby front bumper with winch mount is for those of you that have a 2007 to 2018 JK that are looking for a stubby front bumper with a lot of off-road ready features built right into it. Now, in the world of bumpers, you're going to have your full width, your mid width, and your stubby bumpers. There are a couple of benefits to one over the other. The larger bumpers offer a little bit more protection, but a stubby bumper like this one is going to offer you a ton of clearance between the front tire and the bumper area, and you're going to be able to get that front tire right up against an obstacle when you're off-road without the bumper sitting in front of it. This bumper will also give your Jeep a very aggressive off-road style, so if that's what you're after, I think a stubby bumper is a good place to look. Again, if you're looking for maximum amount of protection, maybe a full width is going to be a better option for you, and we have both. So this is going to be a very easy to install bumper, 1 out of 3 wrenches, bolts right onto the Jeep, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. So when shopping for bumpers, you're really going to look for a couple of different things. One is going to be the look. You have to like the style, but maybe more importantly is going to be the function and all of the features that are built into the bumper. And again, for a stubby bumper, which doesn't give you a lot of real estate, this does have a lot of features built into it that I really like that we're going to touch on in just a second. And something else that I really like about this is RedRock 4x4 is known for making a high quality product at a very fair price. So this bumper is going to be a little bit less expensive than some of the other choices out there that are going to be very similar in functionality. So let's talk about the construction of this bumper. As you can see, it is a stubby bumper, so you're going to have your frame rails are pretty much right here. So you have a little bit that sticks out past that, but not too much. So this is a very nice and compact bumper. You're going to have your D-ring mounts right here. They're going to be a nice heavy gauge steel, and they're welded all the way through to the part of the bumper that bolts to the frame horns. So you're going to get a lot of strength there for any type of recovery that you might need to do. And these aren't a simple D shape with a hole in the center for the D-ring. This has a hole for the D-ring at the bottom, but a larger hole up top here. So if you have these in place and you want to use maybe a soft shackle or have a spot to hook your winch line that isn't directly to the D-ring, when it's not in use, you have that upper area as well. So you have really 2 different holes there on those mounts, which is nice. Something else that you'll notice about these is that the edges of these have been rounded off before the powder coating has been done. And that's not something you'll see on a lot of bumpers out there. It's just a little bit of an attention to detail that I like to see from RedRock on this particular bumper. You have your holes here for your factory fog lights, which again isn't something that you're always going to see on a stubby front bumper due to the lack of real estate, but this will accept those factory fogs, which is something I really like. You have the lights, the wiring's there, the switch is there. Why not buy a bumper that allows you to use those lights? And this one will let you do that. So as long as you have the factory plastic front bumper and not one of those special edition metal front bumpers, your fog lights will bolt directly into this. Down here you have a couple of holes, almost a grill-like style at the bottom of the bumper. That's really for style and aesthetics more than anything else, but I do like the way that it looks. Of course, right here in the center you have your cutout for your fair lead, and directly behind that you have your winch plate that'll hold up to a 12,000 pound winch, so you're gonna have a lot of strength there. You're gonna be able to use this bumper for more than just looks. This is going to be a good recovery style bumper. Up top here you have a little bit of a hoop that's going to help to protect your headlight bumper winch area a little bit. If you're going down a narrow trail, there's a branch, it'll hit this before it hits the grill, but really again this is for aesthetics as well. I always really like this style of hoop where it has a single hoop up the center but then an extra set of bars here. Just adds a little something that aesthetically I prefer. And then right up on top you do have 2 light mount tabs, so those are going to be for any single post light that you can buy out there on the market, which is the vast majority of them. So you want to go with some small LED cubes, some bigger old school halogen lights, any set of lights you can mount up on here. Just get them wired up and they're going to work really well for you. So again, a ton of off-road features built into a nice compact stubby bumper. I mentioned before, I think you're getting a very fair price for this bumper. This is going to come in at $400, and RedRock is really good at that, building a high quality bumper with a ton of features at a fair price. So for everything you're getting, I think $400 is a very good deal. If you're looking for a stubby front bumper with a lot of off-road features built into it, I think this one is priced really fairly. Now somebody from the install team is going to show you how you get this installed.
First thing we're going to do is take our trim panel removal tool and remove the 2 push pins that hold our frame cover in place up top here behind the front bumper. We're going to take our trim panel removal tool here and pop these 2 push pins out. And now we can pull our frame cover out. Next thing we're going to do is reach behind the bumper and unplug our fog lights. And keep in mind that we'll be reusing these fog lights for our new bumper, so be careful when you remove your bumper. We can now remove the 8 nuts that hold the bumper in place. There are 2 on the outside, on the right side, 2 on the outside on the left side, and 4 directly in the center. Now the 4 in the center are gonna be a little tough to see, so bear with me as I stick my impact gun in here, try and get these out. I'm gonna have to switch over to a ratchet for this next nut. If you guys are working on a Rubicon model that has electronic sway bar disconnect, you won't be able to fit an impact gun in here. So I'm gonna be using my ratchet. We are now ready to remove our stock bumper. All right, since we'll be reusing our fog lights for our new bumper, we need to remove the fog lights out of our stock bumper. I'm gonna use a Phillips head screwdriver. Just a quick side note here, guys, our fog lights have been removed quite a few times. There should be 4 screws in each fog light. Ours only have 2 in each. All right, we're gonna start our install off by putting our factory fog lights into our new bumper. RedRock supplies you with 8 J-clips and 8 screws, so we need to go clip a J-clip into each hole where our fog light goes, so we have something to screw it to. They just snap into place. We can now install our factory fog lights into the bumper. We're now ready to grab our new bumper and install it. All right, we can grab a couple of the nuts and washers that are provided by RedRock and bolt this bumper up. And I got a 16mm socket on my ratchet here. And we can get the outer nuts on our bumper here. All right, last thing we're gonna do here is plug our fog lights in. That's gonna wrap up our review and install of the RedRock Stubby front bumper. Be sure to check out more at ExtremeTerrain.com.